Hello and welcome to the Lakeview Maker. I am the Lakeview Maker and today I'm going to do another basics tutorial for crochet. So this video is going to be practicing magic circle and working in the round, because a lot of the stuff I make generally uses the magic circle. So it's a really important technique to nail and it gives your pieces a really good finish. And it's really easy once you understand kind of the mechanism behind it and what you need to do. So I think you'll really enjoy it. So without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm going to be using a hook and some cotton yarn that I have, just because it's very easy for you to see. So let's start with magic circle. Now, magic circle can be a bit intimidating, I think mainly because it has the word magic in the name, but it's honestly not difficult, and once you get it, it'll just click and it'll be another tool in your arsenal for crocheting toys and figurines. So we're going to get our hook, and we're going to take our yarn in our left hand. I'm very sorry if you're left-handed, you can do it the other way around. You hold on to the yarn with your finger, you go under and over in a crisscross. You take your hook, you go under and over with your hook. So this is the position you need to be in at this point. You twist your hook downwards in order to grab this first strand. So you grab the strand, pull it under there. Now this is the difficult part. You twist back up. So your hook goes down and up again. And you're literally just pulling the loop so it's above the strand on the right. And then to secure it, we do chain one. That's a magic circle. That's it. That's all it is. So let's do that one more time. Two fingers, we take our yarn, we cross it over and into a cross shape. We go under with our hook and over. We twist our hook downwards so that we can catch the yarn on the left, pull it under the yarn on the right. We twist our hook downwards and then we come up so that the little loop that you have here goes over the strand on the right and just sits there. We then take our fingers out of the ring and we chain one. And that's a magic circle. So nice and easy. Feel free to practice a few times. I did not get it the first time, or even the second time, or potentially even the third time. So go back over and practice. I promise you, you'll get it. So now, when you do a pattern, it will say, let's say 5 single crochets into the magic circle. Now, oh God, what does that mean? So that means if you're doing into the magic circle, you take your hook and you push it in to the hole, like so. And then we yarn over and pull the loop up so that it's just sitting above the circle and you've caught a loop in there. And then we just yarn over and pull through 2. So it's a lot like doing a regular single crochet as you would if you were working flat. Just instead of inserting into a chain, we're just imagining this to be a big chain loop. So we insert our hook and pull up the loop, and then we yarn over and we pull through 2. And as you can see, while we do this, you are getting the regular stitch shapes you would get if you were working flat. So essentially, once you're past this part, it's a lot like working as you would with a flat piece. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out our other tutorial on our YouTube channel and our Vimeo, just the basics of crochet. And when it says basics, it means really basics. So I've done 4 stitches, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do a 5th. And then pull through. So that's 5. And again, I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now, it won't tell you to do this in the pattern, but you will need to close the magic ring to continue. So all you have to do is just pull this end, and as you can see, it just pulls everything tightly and closes it to the point where you can't really see a hole. And depending on your pattern, some patterns, if you're working in a spiral, that's the end of row 1. Some of them will say slip stitch into the first stitch. So as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the first one we did. So we're going to insert our hook underneath the 2 loops like we would if it was flat, and pull our yarn through and pull our yarn through. Working in a circle is a lot like working on a flat piece. It's just the little V's, instead of going in a line, are going in a circle. So I'm just going to do another round just to reiterate. And as in the basics video I've shown you, each stitch you end up with a back loop and a front loop. And when you do a stitch, you push your hook directly underneath those 2 loops. So you can see the anatomy of the stitch. You've got yarn coming down here. You need to just go directly under these loops. And I'm going to do an increase into here. And there, into that stitch. And again, we'll do another stitch. So you can see we've got our 2 loops here. We insert underneath and do a single crochet as we normally would. So once you get started, you kind of realise that it's quite simple to do. It's just, for some reason, it being in a circle, I find it quite intimidating. And obviously, if the pattern tells you to chain, just chain. If it tells you to do an increase or a decrease, do it as the pattern says. And you should end up with a decent circle. So when you're crocheting in the round, one of the most important things you need to do, possibly even more so than when you're crocheting rows, is you need to count your stitches, because it is very easy to get lost when you're doing this. And it is worth potentially having some kind of stitch marker or hair grip just to mark off your first or your last stitch in a row, just so you know where you are, because it does all start to blend into one, and it's very important. I've done increases in every stitch. I'm going to do some single crochets in all my stitches, and if you do single crochets without any increase as you're going round, you'll find that your piece will start to curl. And what's very important in crochet is the concept of a right side and a wrong side. So there is a right side and a wrong side when you're working in the round. And the round that the side you can see here, that you're facing as you work, that is the right side. If you flip it up, this is the wrong side. And I don't know if you can see the texture difference between the two, but the right side is quite flat, whereas if you look at the wrong side, it's quite bubbly and it's not as smooth. It looks a bit more rounded. So when you're working on this, make sure that if your project starts to curl inwards, that you push it so that the right side is on the outside. And as you can see, the magic circle means you can't really see any hole there. So it'd be good for when you have a project that you need to stuff. And you will have this here. Leave it, it's perfectly secure. Just tuck it into your project and you shouldn't be able to see it. So yeah, and just follow the pattern round and make sure as you go, you mark your first stitch you did and you keep counting. And that will make sure that everything is nice and even and your project looks symmetrical. So I hope this was useful. Feel free to subscribe for more basics tips. If there's any videos you would like to see, please leave a comment and I will get on to making them as soon as I can. We have an Instagram and a Facebook page if you're interested in liking either of those. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.